Hey guys, Miss Lindley here. Your assignment today is one-step equations, which you guys have started yesterday, so you should have a little bit of background knowledge. We're going to go through the slides and do our best to set up the equations and solve them. So the first slide says, using the key at the right, type the equation and find the solution for each of the models below. So up here, it's going to be really important that we look at the key. It says the green bar equals an x or a 1x. The red bar equals a negative 1x. The yellow blocks equal 1. And the red blocks equal negative 1. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at A. And I'm going to help you guys set up the equations. We do have 1x or 1 bar, it looks like, and they're together. So it's going to be 1x plus, it looks like we have 3 little yellows. So we have 1x plus 3. And the scale will show that it equals this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It equals 11. You are going to type that equation into this box. Then you actually have to solve it. Remember, you have to balance out both sides. And in this box, you will say x equals what? You'll be able to use the text feature. I can't because I'm recording. Oops, it doesn't equal 3. Don't write that. I don't know how to erase that. It doesn't equal 3, just so you know. X equals what? Remember, in order to do this equation, you have to do 1x minus 3 equals 11. In order to balance both of those sides, you have to get the x by itself. So the first term that we have to mess with that's not with the x is the 3. In order to get rid of a negative 3, you have to put a positive 3 on the bottom. Whatever you do to one side, we have to do to the other. Okay, so now we have 1x equals, and 11 plus 3 is in fact 14. So we have x's are equal to 14. So that's what we got for the first one. I will help you set up some of the equations to them, but you are going to have to solve the rest on your own, and you have to make sure you fill in the boxes. Letter B, we have 1, 2, 3 x's, so we're going to write that as 3x, and we're going to say equals, and it equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, equals 9. From there, this is showing us multiplication. Okay, so sorry about that quick interlude. So 3x equals 9. Remember, you have to balance both sides. This is saying 3 times x, so we have to do the opposite of multiplication. So in order to solve this problem, we have to divide by 3. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. That's a 3. The 3's will cancel out, and then you'll have x equals what? Now remember, I'm not writing it in the boxes. You have to write it in the boxes. You have to write it here in the equation, and then you have to write x equals whatever the solution is. Right here and right here. I'm not filling in answers for you anymore. You guys were not watching my videos, and you were just writing the answers, and you had no stinking clue how to do any of the work. We're not doing it. All right. The next problem, it has 1x right here, and then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which counts as negative 1. So we have 1x, and I'm going to call that a negative or a minus 7, and it equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1x minus 7 equals 7. So we're going to have plus 7. Then you have to get the negative 7. You're going to do plus 7. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. Again, you have to write the equation in there. Then you're going to have 1x equals 14. Now, remember, 1x equals 14 really is the same as just saying x, so the solution would be that. X equals 14. Okay, the last one, we have 3 x's, and it equals 3 singles or 3 ones. That's your equation. I'm not going to do the solution for you because this one is a lot like this one up top. You need to write the equation here, and then you have to figure out what the solution is at the bottom. Remember, 3 next to an x, this is multiplication. You have to do the opposite operation of multiplication, which is division. Whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other. Hopefully you did a good job with that. Okay, moving on to the next one. The next one says, drag each of the equations to the yellow box that has the correct solution to the equation. So if I were you, I might do these on a scrap sheet of paper. I have my handy dandy scrap sheet of paper here with me, and I'm just going to do letter A. It says 3x equals negative 15. So for this one, 3x equals negative 15, I have an x. I have to get it by itself. So I have to do 3, I have to divide by 3 because the 3 next to x is multiplication. I have to do the opposite of multiplication. So whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5. So I got negative 5. So I would drag that into there. My next equation for B is 6 equals. Now, they drew this really bizarre, and I don't like it. I always like my what my answer, my equation equals. I like it on the right side. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to rewrite it as 4 plus x equals 6. And even still, I usually make my variable on this far side, but whatever, it is what it is. We have to get rid of that 4 to get x by itself. In order to get rid of that 4, it's a positive 4. We need to minus 4. Whatever we do on one side of the equal sign, we have to do to the other. So 6 take away 4. We're going to drop down the x, and we're going to drop down the equal sign. And we're going to get x equals 6 take away 4. We're going to get x equals 2 for B. I'm going to let you do some of those other ones on your own. C looks pretty easy. D doesn't look too bad either. Remember, that's a negative 6. So in order to get the x by itself, you have to do positive 6 on both sides. E looks pretty easy. F looks pretty easy. You can rewrite G. You can write x plus 2 equals negative 1 and then solve it from there. The only one I'll do with you now is H. So it's x divided by 4 equals 0.25. Well, that's saying divided by 4. The opposite operation of division is multiplication. So we're going to times that by 4, and that will cancel it out because it'll make that a 1. And then whatever we do on one side, we have to do the other. So remember, those brackets mean times. So we're timesing that. So my 4's will cancel out, and I'll have x by itself. And I'll have x equals 0.25 times 4. And I will get x equals 1. So my last one that looked a little bit trickier for H We solved by using multiplication, got x by itself, and we got x equals 1. I'm not doing those ones for you. You need to do them on your own. Hopefully you listened to half of my explanations and you should know where they go. All right. I'm on 5. So it says for each word problem, 4 students set up an equation to find the missing information. Type the name of the student who correctly set up the equation in the blue box. So Monica is completing an algebra test worth 100 points. So right now we know this test is worth 100 points. It equals 100 points. So right now, every single one of them set that part up right. All of them equal 100. There are 14 questions on the test that are equally valued. How many points is each question worth? So we have 14 questions. We don't know their value, and it has to equal 100. Let's just say that there are 14 questions. We don't know their value, and they equal 100. So what we're going to do there is, sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. We know they equal 100. So we're going to write that for sure. And you know you have 14 questions, but we don't know their value. We're going to call their value x, because 14 times whatever point value they are has to equal 100. In order to find that point value, we would solve for x, all right? So we would divide by 14, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other, and then I get x equals, and it's some decimal, 7 point something points, okay? Now, only one person set that up correctly. Which person was it? Was it Alex, Joan, Deborah, or Jared? Hint, all you have to do is match the equation and write their name in the blank. So you should be writing their name in this blue part. Who matches that equation? Question B. The area of the rectangle is 625 square units. What if the width is 12 units? What is the length? So it equals, we know the whole area is 625. Okay, so we have that. If the width is 12, well, remember, area equals length times width, right? Length times width. So we kind of wrote it backwards. This is the area. We have the width, which is 12. We need the length. 12 times what? Well, we don't know, so we'll put an x there. Who solved this equation right? If the width is 12 units, what is the length? Well, if we have to solve for x, we're able to do that by dividing both sides by 12. Who wrote that equation correctly? And lastly, at the beginning of winter, Ron had $217 in his savings account. He shoveled snow to earn money, and by the end of winter, he had a total of $975 in his savings. How much did Ron save over the winter? He had a total of this, $975. He started with this, $217. And he shoveled snow to earn money, and by the end of one, we don't know how much he earned, but we know it was more. So we're adding that onto our total, but we don't know how much he earned. So we started with $217. We added on a certain amount that he earned in the winter. We're not sure how much, and he ended up with that much. So again, write the person's name that got that equation right into the box. All right, I think we have one more sheet that you guys had to do. It says solve each problem below, then drag and drop the correct solution into the white rectangle. I will set up the problems. You guys have to solve them. A peach pie is divided into 8 equal slices with 200 calories in each slice. How many calories are in the entire peach pie? So this one, a peach pie is divided into 8 equal slices. So we have this is divided into 8 equal slices. And it equals, the slice equals 280. So I have a peach pie is divided into 8 slices, and each slice equals 280. How many are in the entire slice? So 280. You'll have to figure out what to do. It wouldn't make sense if each slice is 280 for it to be less than 280. So that's how you set it up. We did one of these problems or a couple of these problems before. Remember, this is the division. What's the opposite of the division? That's what you have to do on each side. That's 280, by the way. Okay. John has $4.80 more than his brother Amos. We're on question B. You have to solve that and put the correct answer in. B, John has $4.68 more than his brother Amos. If John has $79.32, how much does Amos have? So we want what Amos has. So X is Amos. Okay. So this is Amos, but if you add the $4.68, that's John. And John has a total of 79.32. So now you can solve that. You have to get X by itself. In order to get X by itself, you're minusing to get it by itself. And whatever you minus on one side, you have to do the other to solve the correct answer. All right. Alice drank 18 ounces of Gatorade after her gymnastic meet. There were 14 ounces left. How many ounces of Gatorade were originally in the container? So she started with a number. She drank 18 or minus 18 out of the container. And now she's left with 14. So she had a container of Gatorade full. She took out 18 ounces of it. She sipped out 18 ounces. Now she's left with 14. We want to know how much she started with. So you have to solve for X. Remember, you have to get X by itself. So you have to get rid of this 18. What's the opposite of a negative 18? Then you do that. And whatever you do on one side, you have to do the other. All right. And lastly, the area of the backyard is 1,470 feet squared. If the width is 35 feet, then what is the length of the backyard? So we know, I'm going to write it over here because we know it has to equal 1, 4, 7. That's a 7, 0. We also know that area equals length times, that's a times, not a plus, times width. So they gave us the width. So they gave us 35. Remember when I put our variable next to the 35, that means times. So 35, the width, times this height, times the length, which we don't know, has to equal 1,470 feet squared. You have to get the X by itself. This operation that they're doing right now is multiplication. You have to do the opposite in order to find the length. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other, figure out the answer, drag it in the box. That is the end. Hopefully you listened to this whole video and you watched it. That is how you're going to fill in the answers. Okay, bye.